Hey everybody, Sean here from BoredParacord.com and Paracord.com, and today I want to show you a stitched fishtail, which is it's just a fishtail bracelet, and then there's going to be like a pattern down the center of it. Real easy to do. One thing I do recommend is for you to get, you don't really have to have it for this, but we carry, they're called microfids, and I'll show you one in here. This is a special one for me, that's why it's blue, but this is a microfid. It's small enough for microcord, and it's very helpful in this bracelet. If you don't have it, you can use a pair of needle nose pliers. It's just going to take a little longer, and it'll come out just fine. Okay, so let's get started here. I have about 9 feet of this Caribbean blue, great color to go with the goldenrod. I think it'll turn out real nice. So to start off, got a 1/2 inch buckle. Already melted the ends to a kind of a flattened end, and we'll just put the ends together, run the paracord through my fingers to get our middle point. Now once we have the middle point, what I like to do is go up through the bottom. Actually, I'm sorry, go down through the top toward the bottom, bring that loop through, open the loop up, place it over top of the buckle, and then just pull it tight. And that gives you your, what we call a cow's hitch. Real simple to do. And a lot of you guys have already done this bracelet, the fishtail, but I want to at least give you a little bit of info on how to do it, in case it's the first video you've seen of mine. So once you have your cow's hitch, I like to flip the buckle over in my hand like that, and then just pull all the cord through my fingers again. And what that does, that just gets rid of all the twisting that might have happened. Put these ends together, and then we're going to go from the bottom of the buckle up through, just like so. And I didn't do a very good job of melting this end because it's coming apart. Alright, and then just pull this through until we get to, we'll have 2 loops here. As you can see, we have 2 loops there. We're going to open this up. And then you just want to do you want to take your measurement from here. Wow, I'm really struggling with this today. All right, so your measurement is basically going to be from this edge. So right where my thumbnail is pointing to, that edge there, all the way to the end of your buckle here. So that's your measurement for your bracelet. The fishtail doesn't really take up a whole lot of inside diameter, so what you measure here, you might want to add just a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch to it, and that'll be good for what you're doing. Now, we want to, I like to have my left working end to the left side and my right working end to my left. I'm actually going to take this watch off, if it'll come off. Struggling there we go. Sorry about that, just kind of getting in my way. All right, so we have our cords coming up from the bottom, just like so. Now what we need to do is cross each one over down through the center. So we're going to take the right cord, and it's just going to go down through the center, off to the left. Now this left cord is going to do the same thing, but off to the right. So you're going to cross over in the middle, right here, take it through the center, and off to the right. Just like that. Now, trying to keep everything together, we're just going to take our right cord now, cross over that outside cord, and down through the center off to the left. Try to keep everything pulled nice and tight as you go. This one doesn't have any knots, so you've got to use your fingers to keep everything together. So now you should have 2 cords off to your left. You have the top one and the bottom one. You're always going to work to bring the cord over to the left side, and you're always going to start with the top cord. You're always going to go down across the first cord, so down through the center, off to the right. Loop it over, down through the middle, and then back to the left. And for some reason, this cord is really stiff. I might have grabbed some bad cord out of my scratch and dent bin. Actually, I think I did. So once in a while we get some samples that manufacturers send us. I think this is one of those samples. We normally don't sell this stuff. Okay, so top one again, cross over, take it down through the center, off to the right, loop it around that middle cord, or center strand, this one here, back down through the middle and off to the left. And you're just going to continue this, and you can really start to see, and what I'm doing right here is I'm kind of pushing the design toward the buckle while I'm pulling these two cords. And what that does is it gets this design real firm and really, really uniform as you go. You want to make sure you keep this nice and tight as you go. Just remember, it's always the top one, down through the center, off to the right, loop around that center strand, down through the center, and off to the left. And see what happens is when it comes off to the left, it's on the bottom now. So you're always going to alternate each cord. And then just push this toward the buckle, pull these cords out through the back. But I'm going to finish this up, and then I will be back to show you how to end it, and then also to do the stitching. Alright, as you can see, I have finished up the fishtail bracelet. Even finished it on the back here. And what I want to show you right now is basically I have taken my fid and I put the micro cord on there, and I fed it through the back. I tied a figure 8 knot on the end of this so that it will not slide through. You can just do a regular overhand knot, something easy, it doesn't have to be big. I did the figure 8 so I had a little bulk to it, but that's it really. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to break these up into groups of 2, starting with the right side, and we're going to skip this first one on the left. And you want to make sure you bring your micro cord up above, so like above where the fishtail starts, this fishtail pattern. So I have it right above where it's going to start. We're going to skip the first one. We're going to call this 1, 2, come over here and call this one 1, 2. So we're working in groups of 2. This 2, we'll go to the other side, 2, do the next 2, and so on and so forth. So the first thing I want to do is count down 1, 2, and we're going to go up through those 2 sections, just like so. And this micro cord will tend to twist up on you as you go, so what I like to do is just drop the fid to the floor and then just pull the cord through my fingers. And what that does for me is that just gets rid of all the twisting. Now once you have this first one, so we came out here, you want to go down through that last piece you just did there, pull everything through. I know there's tutorials on how to do this. I found this way looks a little nicer, and it tends to work pretty good too. That little extra piece that I went underneath of right there. Okay, so we did our first 2 here. We're going to come over to the left side, count. We're going to skip this first one, act like it's not even there. We're going to count 1, 2, go underneath and through from the bottom up, always from the bottom up on these. Pull everything through, just like that, and then we're going to go down underneath of that last stitch you just did, just like so. Now these first few, the pattern doesn't really come through yet, and then you want to make sure you pull it a little tight. You don't want to pull it so much that it squeezes these 2 and then creates gaps. Like you'll see there'd be like a gap here and a gap here. You don't want to pull it quite that tight, but you want it to be snug. Alright, so we're going to start where we ended on this side, right here. And it's going to go 1, 2, and then up and through. 1, 2, up and through. And that tends to happen quite a bit doing this bracelet. You're going to catch that loop on a lot of stuff. It's kind of annoying. Alright, we're going to go underneath that one. And then go ahead and tighten that up again. Same thing on this side. Start at the last one and then count 1, 2 below it. Come on up and through. And I've got about, I don't know, about 5 feet of this micro cord, maybe 6, just enough to kind of know that I'm not going to run out. And you want to kind of move these. This pattern looks really good if these loops are kind of moved out a little bit. And that's something you're going to do kind of at the end. But you can do it while you go too. Either way. You just want to make this one look just like the previous one so it's nice and uniform as you go. Alright, we're going to count down 1, 2 underneath. And up and through. And don't forget to go underneath. There we are. Move that aside. One, two. And this is going to be the last one, and then once I get this, I'm going to finish it on up and show you how to finish the bracelet. Pretty easy one. Not too bad. Not too hard. It's just remembering all the little stuff, like going underneath of the last stitch that you just did. I'm going to move these over just a little bit. There we go. And you can kind of start to see the little braid look that it has to it. But, well, I'm going to continue on this. I've got a few more to do, as you can see, and then I will, at the end, I'll be back to show you how to finish off the bracelet and be done with it. And I will be back. Alrighty, so I am down to the bottom of this, and I really can't go any further because I don't have a group of 2 down here. So I only have 1. So what I'm going to do now at this point, I finished on 2 here, but what I want to do is just take this down through the center. Oh, and I have it melted there. Alright, so what we're going to do, let's see here. I think we're going to come up 1. You might want to hold off on melting your fishtail until you get to the very end of this, because what I just figured out is I can't come up through here because it's melted already. But that's okay, I just went back 1. We're just going to cut this off pretty close to the bracelet. You want to have a little bit there to melt and to have it still, you know, be enough to where it won't pull through. And I'm just going to melt this real quick with a flame that I cannot see. I got these lights in here that are really, really bright. There we go. And as you can see, that's enough to where it won't pull through. And that's pretty much it. That's a stitched, what do they call it? A center stitched fishtail. Center stitched fishtail. Now, one thing I did have to do is I went back to the beginning and grabbed a hold of each one, pulled out the slack, then went to the next one, pulled out the slack, and I just went to each one and pulled it out. And by the time I got down to the bottom, I had about 4 inches of, you know, pulled out. Another thing you want to do is, if the design just doesn't look right and you start noticing that some of these are kind of moving out away from the design, you can just take your fid or your fingernail and just kind of push it back toward the middle, and that'll make the design come together again. But other than that, it turned out pretty good. I really like this design. You can see this along with everybody else's great work at the Facebook page, Facebook group I should say. It's facebook.com/groups/paracord on, and that's where I'll be. You'll see this in there. It should be at the top of the page until I come out with another video. And everything you see in this video can also be purchased at our website, BoredParacord.com. And until next time, paracord on.